All right. Are we live? Are we live? Yeah. All right. Oh, man. Welcome to the first of maybe many. I'm not sure. I hope you can hear me okay. I think you can. But I wanted to kind of just sit down and talk. I wasn't sure. I was just going to record it as a video and then kind of post it kind of unedited. So then I thought, well, if I'm going to post it unedited, then I might as well just live stream it. Don't know if anyone's going to watch it. All right, good to see you. Glad you can hear me. What's up, dude? Hey. What's up, homie? So yeah, basically, I wanted to talk about some stuff. And I was going to just film it and edit or post it unedited, but then I thought I might as well just live stream it if I'm going to do that. So yeah, this is fun. Never done this before. Let me get out my list. And let's get chatting. I'll try to bring you a late Sunday night rant. We'll see. I might get a little fired up about some of this stuff, but it might be chill. Might get a little heated. That I was not trying to make that pun, but anyways. All right, so first on the list I've got what is soteria? Now, I addressed this in some other videos, but basically this YouTube channel I started because I wanted to document some of the training that I'm doing. Not really for anyone else, more just so for myself to motivate myself to get out and do stuff. And it's been successful in that sense because, you know, you got a week, whatever, week's coming to a close. I'm like, oh, I need to post something. Well, I haven't really done anything this week. Nothing cool, nothing worthy of filming. So now I've got to go out and do something. So I like that aspect of it. It helps keep me, in check and make sure that I'm doing something every week to progress my skills or my knowledge, at least, as a protector. So yeah, what do I believe in? I believe in protecting innocent life, protecting my family. I believe in traditional values and all that, but really at the end of the day, it comes down to being a protector and stepping up to the plate, because I believe that we're all given that, as men, we're all given that by a creator, that duty. And I believe that there's men that choose to accept that responsibility they've been given, and there's many men who shirk from that responsibility. And I don't think any of us do it perfectly. None of us are the providers or protectors that we should be, I guess. But like I said previously, all we can do is just kind of get better every week, do something. So, all right, what you saying? The new Risky Krisky? I don't know. Are we allowed to say that? I don't know if we're allowed to say that. Might get banned, perma-banned. All right, what's up? Welcome. All right, let me get into some topics so you guys have something to actually listening to besides me just rambling about nonsense. I guess the first question is, why do I wear the mask? So I think the past week's events are kind of maybe a little bit of a a demonstration of this in some ways, but the unfortunate part about standing up for what you believe and putting yourself out there is that there's people that are going to hate that. And there are crazy people who will latch onto it, latch onto you. So it's not that I intend to be like famous or anything like that. But um, I I don't want the weird attention. There's weird attention from weirdos that you get just by being online, and I don't want that. Hold on, let me put something on the fire. So yeah, mainly to avoid weird attention from weirdos, protect my family. You know, if I'm posting these videos to motivate people, to inspire people, um, but then in the process I endanger my family, I'm kind of failing at my mission, you know? So yeah, it's not that I've got like anything to hide, or it's not that, I'm ashamed to show my face or anything like that. Um, it's more just to keep the weirdos at a distance, you know? So, also, the channel's not really about me. I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about you, and I want you to basically just get inspired. So, um, the other thing I want to say too is that, any of these videos or any of the information that I do, whatever, um, I don't want it to ever come from a point where I am teaching you something or I am showing you the way. Um, holy crap, dude. I don't want it to ever come from the point, my goodness, ugh, from the point where I am the expert and I am bestowing you with my knowledge. No, it's not that. I am on a journey just like you guys are. At whatever point in your journey you are, I am also on that journey. And my goal is not to tell you what the right answer for you is, or to tell you what you, should buy or should do or whatever. It's just to inspire you to do something. So that's the way I look at it, and I hope that makes sense. Let me pull up my notes again. All right. We got 80 of you guys in there. Look at that. Just great. Yeah, by the way, I'll probably be up for maybe 30 minutes or so. I'm going to ramble through some different topics that are on my heart. But if you got any questions or something you want me to answer, go ahead and post it. I can see it, kind of. So as provided my computer doesn't die, we should be all good. All right. So, last week's events. Last week. So multiple things have happened in the last couple weeks. We've had church shootings. We've had school shooting, or a Christian Catholic school shooting. I'm not sure. I don't keep up to date on a lot of this news, guys. I try to take a step back from it because it's not. I don't think it's good for you to be what do they call it? Monitoring the situation, or keeping your pulse on it. I don't think it's good for you to be doing that every day, or and I do think there's value in keeping up with what is going on. There is value in that for sure. But I think you have to be careful, or at least I've seen this in my own life. I have to be careful not to be too attached to everything that's going on and always checking X and always checking the news and all of these websites and the notifications, because one, it distracts me from what I need to be doing in the day-to-day as a man, but also it really weighs on my mental health. So I know that's a really fancy, modern, woke, if you will, word, but I think you have to be careful about that. It can mess you up. So yeah, we've had, in the past couple weeks, we've had a lot happen. We've had some very tragic things happen. We had at least one or maybe two couple church shootings. I think we had a school shooting, at least one. And then we had, of course, the assassination that I'm sure you guys have all heard about and been thinking about, of Charlie Kirk. And I've been thinking about this. And there's multiple things that you can, say about it. Lots of has already been said, so I don't want to beat a dead horse or, sound like everyone else. But I think the first thing that came to mind for me when I had time to process it all was, if you aren't doing anything, if you're not training or trying to become better or trying to expand your skills or trying to get fit or whatever it is, if you're not setting aside food and water, whatever it is, if you're not doing something, if you're not serious about life, after what we've had happen in the last week, then I don't know what to tell you, because if that's not a wake-up call, then what is, we've seen it all, we've seen it all in the last 5 years. I'm a young guy, mid-20s, with a family and whatever. So I just grew up. All this craziness happened right after, I was freshman in college. And we've seen it all. I don't even need to go down the list, It's been a crazy couple years. And, after this past week, with this blatant hatred and blatant violence, it's like, if that's not a wake-up call for you to get serious, then I don't know what is. And when I say a wake-up call, I don't mean, oh, like everyone says, this is the moment everything changes, this is going to be the moment we look back on and we realize that, that was the tipping point. But that's not what I mean. I don't mean going to social media and posting and saying, we won't stand up for, or, we're not going to put up with blah, blah, blah anymore. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about getting serious in your rhetoric. I'm not talking about getting serious in your convictions or even, the graphic tees you wear, the things you post on social media, the things you talk about with your friends. I'm talking about getting serious in your day-to-day. Like, when you come home, are you dry firing? If you have a handgun, if you don't carry a handgun with you, and your country, state, whatever, laws allow, why? Why not? But if you do, are you dry firing it? Just pull it out of the holster once or twice, whatever. But that's a simple step, and I gotta say, I am not good at that. I'm not. I'm trying to get better at this. But that's just one example. The other one is fitness, If you are, you say, everyone's saying, oh, this is where everything changes. Where it needs to change is in your day-to-day. Tomorrow, today, tonight, it should change for you. And I'm not here to preach. I'm really preaching it myself because, like I said, I don't dry fire every day. My fitness is decent. I work out and I go running and rucking and stuff, but I don't take it as seriously as I should. So, all right, I'm going to read some of the stuff that's up on screens here. Forgive me, the smoke's in my eyes. Let me scooch over. What do we got? Okay, someone said Charlie's still alive. Okay. I don't know. I That very well maybe. I never said he wasn't. I'm just a kid. Yeah, I'm not a kid, but whatever. Everyone talks about Civil War after Charlie got having people to talk about it on their talk shows. A lot of them don't know when it will start just because they are not the men to fight in it. Yeah, like I told you my mission at the beginning, and I don't know where you stand. I don't know what position you're in or whatever. I don't know what your goals are in life, but my mission is not to start anything. My mission is not to get involved in any kind of anything, really. My mission is to protect the people that God has called me to protect. So, no matter the state of the world, no matter the state of the country, that's what I'm going to do. Um, so, yeah, I'm not going to get involved in anything like that. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. All right, was 2020 not violent enough? If you were serious about being concerned, you would have been prepping hard and training. I'm not just talking about firearms. Yes, I agree with you absolutely, Jacob. I 2020 was my wake up call because I was young. I'm still young, but I was young. I was just learning about the world. You know, I was a little into firearms, but I wasn't taking anything seriously in my life at that point. So, but it is the point for me that everything changed, you could say. I started getting very serious about fitness. I started building an AR and stuff like that. Anyways, food preps and all that. I started learning a lot of stuff. Man, this is hot. This is a hot fire. I don't know what I put in there. This might be controversial. But an FPV drone is probably more important than firearms at this point. Yeah, if you've already got one rifle, if you've already got your firearms to protect your family or whatever, then yeah, a drone's great. Um, I wouldn't say it's more important. Um, but again, it depends on your situation. Say you are in a very urban area and you have no legal or illegal or whatever access to tools that you would prefer to defend your family with. Maybe a drone would be a good way to scout out a way to get out of a dangerous spot before you go through it. Situation dependent. Like again, I'm not here to tell you what the right answer is for you. I'm just here to talk. Jack, every man must ask himself where his red line is. Man, this is hot. Where his red line is. That's why we train. The second is not for hunting, sport, or even self-defense, although some states have expanded those rights to include those things. The federal constitution second is for toppling governments. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. That's why organizing now is better than later. Man, the heat. But when the time comes, we may have to be defensive at first. When governments need replacing, efforts of offense are needed. Okay. Man. You guys want to talk about this, huh? So, yeah, I agree that the second is for keeping freedom and governments in check. That's what it's for. I mean, it's very plainly written there. So, you get so many people on the right and the left sides of the spectrum that will try to explain that away. I don't understand how you can explain that away. It's pretty obvious, but so yeah, you're right. I'll just say that every individual has a different idea of what that point is, right? Of when, hey, we have gotten to the point where we don't have the freedoms we need. So I'm not here to say where that point is, or I'm not the kind of man to start that, because you understand that again, this is just personal beliefs. I'm a Christian first, and then a citizen of America second, right? So my Christian duties will always come before my patriotic American duties. And Jesus Christ tells me that his kingdom is not of this world. Um, he tells me that my war is not of flesh and blood, but of rulers of darkness. And so, um, again, this is theological. So if you're not a Christian, don't worry about it. Just understand that I'm a Christian first. Hold on, gotta fix the camera. I think, is it working? All right, looks like it's still working. I'm a Christian first, so my priority is the things that are unseen, is the next life, doing things that matter for eternity, um, not doing things like um, being really involved in governments and keeping freedom in check and all that. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm just not going to be here and say where that point is. So, all right, what do we got here? My boy, the kinetic option. He's working on a 7-inch FPV drone. I think he'll probably end up the operator because I'm going to have so much ammo. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work out because I think that a drone operator usually hangs back with like a support element, right? Or a detached element or something, a security element, right? So, I prefer to be on the assault element, the maneuver element, right? If you're breaking contact. So, yeah, I'll have to, but hey, we're civilians, so you pretty much have to be able to flex and do every role. So, but that's just personal preference. I don't know, I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, I need to learn how to fly an FPV for sure. Maybe, I don't know if it'll happen next year, but I definitely need to get into that. Off to sleep. Good night. All right, good night, sir. Oh my goodness, you have no idea. I don't know how I made such a hot fire. Basic medical and injury prevention goes a long way in normal life. Yes, I agree. We just had a medical class about a month ago. Very essential, important information. Get some training. At the very least, watch like medical class series. YouTube, the one that I went through for a while, was very independent. They have some decent resources. They sell a lot of good medical stuff. Not sponsored, but very independent. They have a good free playlist on YouTube for basic stuff like how to pack a wound, stuff like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. The things I go through. I guess this is training too, huh? If I had to choose between thermal or NVGs, which would I pick? Okay. So I don't have either yet. I don't have either. But I am going to get night vision soon. Probably within the 6 months. And so I'd have to say night vision would be the one. Because thermal is great for offensive or even defensive type stuff. But really, my priority isn't like combat. It's navigation, getting out of a sticky situation. And so therefore, night vision is great for maneuvering and getting yourself out of somewhere discreetly. So, and also, yeah, it's just, I'd pick night vision. Even though I know that if you are going against someone with thermal and you have night vision, they are probably going to spot you first, or they're almost like 100% going to spot you first if they know what they're doing. But still, I'd pick night vision first. But eventually I'll have both. I don't know when that will be, but or I'll probably do a bridge setup. Maybe clip on to my rifle. I can put it in my pocket. I can put it on the rifle. I can put it on my helmet. Whatever I need for the situation. All right, we got more stuff about FPV. We've got can't lose sight every day and get caught up solely focusing on preps. Yes. Um, and that's why I say, stuff, the basics is important. It's again, when we say the day to day, it's not like, how many cans of food did you buy today? It's and you may buy cans of food every day. That's great for you, but it's basic stuff too. Um, I agree completely. You know, how did you treat your family? Because guess what? Um, if something wild happens, you're gonna have to be with your family primarily for a long time. So if your relationships aren't good, you're gonna be miserable. But yeah, and fitness is so important. Um, I'm always gonna say that because I need to hear it. Just got some IFAC setups for work, and just a heads up, guys, my computer battery is a little low. I haven't figured out a way to plug it in out here. So if you lose me, it's been a good time. But for now, I'll keep going. But the computer might die, so stream might end. All right. FPV would probably be support by fire. Yeah, or security element. Depends on how many people you got, really, I guess. You work in a shooting range means you're probably getting shot. Has gone up a few 100%. Yeah, there's some idiots for sure. I wouldn't want to do that. Very independent is high quality. Yeah, very independent is good. I don't know. I don't know about their. I think they can be a little doomer sometimes, but we all can be. So I'm not going to criticize them for that really too harshly at all. They're good guys. They seem like good people. I don't know them personally, but they have some really good information. If you don't have the ability to walk well by using thermal, you lose the entire part of maneuvering. Night vision first is priority. Thermal, yeah, I agree. Night vision comes first, even though thermal is superior technically. How often do you guys think training is required to keep up the skills? Okay, we're gonna probably have to close it down soon, but how often do you need to train to keep up a skill? It probably depends on what the skill is. If we're talking about like, if we're talking about shooting type skills, pew pew skills, those deteriorate pretty fast, honestly. Even within a matter of a few weeks. I try to make it a point to shoot once a month. I'm not very good at that, but I think shooting once a month minimum is probably a good idea. And dry firing at least weekly to keep your, it's all the fancy trainer bros say, like, oh, the muscle memory, kinesthetic, whatever. But like, yeah, I think it's good to do that as often as you can. But weekly is good. Weekly, especially. Ideally, every day. Other skills, I don't know, man. There's some skills that I've gone a long time without doing, and then I just get back into it. And like they say, it's like riding a bike. So, like playing the bass, I'll go a year without playing the bass. I'll pick it up, and then within 20 minutes, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm back where I was, and so. But when it comes to a skill that's an essential life-saving skill, you don't want to test that, right? You don't want to see how long can I go without maintaining that skill. I just, yeah, yeah. In medical, I'd say probably yearly refresher course is probably a good idea. Um, so again, I'm just guessing on these recommendations, but I guess maybe the best thing is to go and look at the professional fields. You're obviously not going to be able to do it as much as professional people, but whatever the field is of the skill that you're talking about, I guess you could go and see like, hey, how often do they train? What's the baseline for those people, right? Right now, I'm trying to attain or reach the a competitive score for the Special Forces selection fitness standards. And, so in that, I was like, okay, I want to be fit, combat fit. What do I need to look for? So I thought, why don't I go look at the Special Forces minimum standards and see if I can attain those. So I'm not there yet, but I will be there within a few months or maybe less. So, and we'll do an update video on that for sure. All right. We're probably gonna have to close soon. What do we got? What do we got? Training is like a language, it can be lost in a couple months depending on what you're doing. Yep. Yeah, running long distance, train weekly, moving heavy weight. I would want to get a few workouts per week. Yeah, same. If I go longer than a week off, you already feel your strength go down. What, in your experience, is the best way to find like-minded men to train and prep with other people other than a church or gym? Ah, man. Yeah, making friends is hard. I won't lie. Um, Even when you do find friends, like it's relationships are difficult. They gotta take time to build. Um, I'm certainly not a master at that, but I guess what I'll say just to real quickly in terms of trying to find people to as a baseline, social media is decent. It's decent. That's actually how I found my current group. Um, it was just complete random chance, something being recommended to me in my X timeline. Right, I was like about to delete it too. I was like, I'm tired. I'm gonna delete this app or whatever. I'm gonna sign out and all that. And then I got recommended someone, oh, something, something. I'm doing some shooting training in Wisconsin. And I was like, oh, okay, who's this guy? Where is he at? I looked at his profile and I was like, it looks like it's near me. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, found out they have a group, messaged the the main guy, and kind of become friends and spiraled from there. So that's my story. Um, for some of the people that I met, churches and a gym are a decent place. Here's the problem with meeting people online: the real good guys, the gangsters, the best men don't use the internet. It's just true. And I know that opts me out, so sorry guys. I'm not the best man, but some of the guys that you're gonna respect the most are guys that really don't spend time on social media or even watching YouTube videos on, you know, top 5 SPR builds or you know, what are the best water filtration methods. So a lot of the best guys you're gonna meet are not gonna be. You're gonna be in person, and so that takes actual people skills. Um, It takes time. It's challenging, but yeah, it's hard to say outside of a church and gym, man, because that's kind of the top two. The other one I'll say is you can meet really good guys at a training dojo. So boxing, wrestling, anything like that. And I know that's really like standard advice people give, but it is true. I did a few months at a uh, I did a few months doing kickboxing, and all the guys I met there, great guys, great guys. If I had put in the time and the effort with those guys, I'm sure we could have become great friends. And I think it's pretty much that way wherever you go. It's just a certain kind of person, certain kind of mindset. Um, all right, what do we got? And then we're gonna probably have to go. Range officers can be pretty cool. Yes, it just depends on the range. It depends on the person. I've had some that were terrible. We got the cops called on us once for really stupid stuff. Um, What is the most important leadership skill that you find out of a group that does well in the efforts of an activity? Oh, leadership. Okay, so I'm not very old and I don't have much experience. But what I've seen is I'll say that there's two sides of leadership that make a huge difference from what I've seen. And I'm a new leader, so I'm trying to develop these skills. Um, But the two things is one, it's the stuff behind the scenes, the stuff that makes all the difference that you didn't see that the leader did. And so it's preparation, it's organization, it's making lists, making schedules, reminding people things ahead of time. The preparation that makes a huge difference in the professionalism, in the organization, um, whatever. That makes a huge difference. So the stuff behind the scenes, the work that most people won't do until the night before, but if you do it weeks and weeks ahead, you will stand out as a leader. So that's one thing. The second thing is people skills, being personable, not just getting up, smiling, saying, "Hey guys, thank you for coming," blah blah blah. It's the interpersonal connection. It's going back, and I'm a lot of what I'm describing is I'm describing the leader of my group. I really look up to him in some of these ways, but he like walks up and down like we're on a ruck. He walks up and down the patrol formation, checks on everyone. Hey, you good on water? You good? You know, you wet? You need to change your socks, whatever. And you good? Do you need help with your frequencies? Whatever it is. If someone's lagging, he'll change the formation or he'll just hang back with them, whatever it is. So making people feel seen, making people feel appreciated for being there, thanking people, man, that stuff makes a huge difference. For whatever you're doing. So both of those things, the stuff behind the scenes that nobody wants to do until last minute, but shouldn't be done last minute, the preparation, the details, and the interpersonal skills, making people feel seen, heard, and appreciated. That builds a lot of trust. No matter what you're doing, whether you're, out in the woods, at church, starting a business, whatever. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, I think our computer's going to die. So, common ground and seeing what is the most effective way conversations to convince people to be more prepper minded without seeming crazy. Finding common ground and seeing if there would be a prepping mindset without actively prepping. That's most normies. Maybe mention this, the precaution you're taking, and you'll inspire them. Okay. I got to be quick because I think I am nearing my time. Excuse me. So there's a lot that you could say, I guess, about that maybe a few years ago. Now, this is the way I look at it. I have tried to get people, friends, family, people I don't know very well, I've tried to get people more towards the direction that, I am, tried to bring them into, we are going to be doing into a more of a prepping mindset, having some food and water on hand. Hey, you want to go shooting with me, whatever. It is so, so incredibly difficult to get someone to move there because if they don't want to, if they're not driving it themselves, they're not excited, they don't, they're not driven by a passion for it or by a fear or a need or whatever. If they don't have the desire, it's not going to happen. You can't drag someone in the direction they want to go. You can't change people. You can't. So my mindset is I just look for people that are already doing these things, and the good news is they're everywhere. A lot of people are quote unquote radicalized. A lot of people are uh, doing a lot of these things now. So it's really not that hard. You just have to be in the right places and you have to make the right kinds of comments and you have to, without being weird, bring up the right kinds of conversations. And I'll say nowadays the conversations come up themselves just by the nature of the way the world is now, how weird everything is. Um, it really is not, if you're just out and you're talking to people and doing things, these conversations will come up. Everyone wants to talk about the news. So, that's one starting point. You can figure out where someone lies politically pretty much within a few minutes of conversation, probably the first minute, really, or just by looking at them. That's also a thing. Yeah. All right. Oh, man. What do we got? That's what I did with my neighbors. Yeah. I probably need to do some of that with my neighbors too. Um, allow the conversation to come up. Yeah, so, oh, I'm sorry you're just tuning in because I'm probably going to head out here. My computer's about to die. So if I black out, that's what happened. But let me say this real quick. Um, Again, my mindset is not trying to bring people into more of a prepping mindset, or a more, whatever you want to call it, doing the things that, hey, you want to go LARPing with me, whatever you want to call it. My mindset is not there. I've tried it. It's so difficult. Like I said, you can't drag people kicking and screaming to be more like you, or to go towards the direction you want them to be. Some people can, I guess. Maybe some people are great manipulators or whatever. But it's so hard, man, because people, if their heart's not in it, it's not going to happen. So I only care about finding people that are already doing it, because one, I can rely on them, and two, I can trust them a little bit more, and three, I don't have to introduce them to everything. They're going to teach me things, I'm going to teach them things. We're going to learn, we're going to form a bond, and it's just going to be so much better. And like I said, there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people like us. Um, there's a lot of people that understand where, they look at the world and they see that things are probably not going to be great forever. I'm a young guy. I realized a long time ago when I was a teenager that the normal life as we have it now is probably not going to last for my entire life. So I have to live as if I have to prepare for that whenever it comes. So, anyways, not to be all weird and doom and gloom. I want to say something real quick before we go. Yeah, we were doing some airsoft in a shoot house in the basement. I'm going to be working on a video for that. Maybe that'll be out on Saturday. Um, we have went to a basement and just yesterday, and we had some building materials. We built up a little shoot house in the basement, and we kind of went through and did some room clearing, stuff like that. One of the guys let us use his PVS 14, and we used IR laser with the airsoft gun, and we went through and we were shooting targets, feeling really cool, like we were all CAG, Dev Groove, SEAL, hoorah, brother, whatever. It was fun. It was fun. You can do a lot of training stuff on a budget, really. You don't have to go fly across the country and pay someone thousands of dollars. All right, so let me just close out on something here. Probably don't have much time left on that computer. Yeah, I've got more than I want to say, but they'll have to save this for another time. I don't know if I'll do this in a week or 2 weeks, but I'm going to do another one soon. Um, but just my challenge to you is to just be a doer and not a talker, not an observer, not a learner, not a nerd. Um, and I can say I don't mean that offensively, but I do. So don't be just a talker. Don't be just someone who lurks online and just watches YouTube videos and browses Reddit and looks at Pew Science, and you know they know all the numbers on everything. They know the best blah blah blah. They've got all their build lists, whatever. They, oh man, they could tell you the stats about anything, Rant, and but they don't train. Don't be that person. Um, don't be just. You need to be a doer. Um, and that's the only thing that I'm going to tell you definitively on this YouTube channel. That is, I am giving you advice. I am the expert. No, I'm not the expert. But that I am giving you advice there. I am saying that is the only thing I'm going to tell you to do, which is be a doer. Do things. Go out, do things. Try things. Train. Dry fire. Shoot. Build relationships. Get fit. All right. Computer's dying. It's time to go. So, thanks for watching. Have a great night.